All right, I am joined today by Kelly Meyer, the Regional Admissions Representative at University of Evansville. Kelly, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, so UE, tell us a little bit about it. Obviously, where it is. We think we have an idea. How big, the size, and why a student would want to consider going to school at UE.
Yeah, thank you. So we are a small private school located in Evansville, which is about 3 hours or so, maybe 2.5 from where you guys are, in the southwestern corner of Indiana, third largest city in Indiana. We are a campus size of about 2,000 undergraduates, so we're very small. So that makes our class sizes small, lots of great individual attention from professors. But the reason you will want to consider UE is for potentially the combination of three very unique things. First thing is that we own our own study abroad program. It's been ranked the #1 study abroad program in the country for many years. It's called Harlaxton College, and it's a 100-room Victorian manor castle. It's actually not technically a castle. It's a manor house located in Grantham, England, which is about 40 minutes outside of London. So we've owned and operated Harlaxton for 50 years. So what that enables us to do is send our students to study there no matter what your major is. So even if you have a really rigorous curriculum like nursing or engineering, we build it into your curriculum and it's the same cost as going to UE. So if, for example, you were able to get a full ride scholarship to UE, you get a full ride scholarship to go study at Harlaxton. It's an amazing deal. So that's a really unique aspect. Second, we're designated as what's called a global change-making university, which enables us to provide our students with 3 or 4 credit classes called change labs, where students work together with other majors to provide some kind of service to the community of Evansville. So we've had students working on tiny homes in the city of Evansville to help start to eliminate homelessness. We have a student building a stormwater drain park right now that he's worked on since he was a freshman. I think he's a senior this year, or maybe going to graduate soon. He's done that every single year he's at UE. So if you're really community minded, UE is a great place to go. And then third thing that's really unique is that we're one of the smallest Division I NCAA schools in the country. So we do have 17 men's and women's sports. No football. If that's a deal breaker, we don't have football, but we do have a lot of other sports. And since it's Division I, you can get some really nice scholarships with those.
Ah, that's great. Now, you said it's a 100-room place?
Yes. The manor castle or the manor house.
Listen, that's a castle. Okay, we're getting into semantics here. If it's 100 rooms, it's a castle.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful place. You can Google it and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's been in a lot of movies and it's a pretty awesome place.
Yeah, that sounds very cool, like a very good opportunity. All right, now what do you look for in potential students at Evansville?
Yeah, so we're looking for students who are really just pretty hard workers and like to be curious and will seek out help when they need it. We have so many academic services in place to help our students that, as long as students can ask for help, they're always going to be okay. And so typically we're looking for, in admission wise, 3.0 GPA or higher, although we will consider students under that. We have a conditional admission program. But yeah, and then we are test optional for almost all of our majors. Really, the only majors we need test scores for are direct entry nursing and direct entry PA, physician assistant, and then our baccalaureate to MD program, we need test scores for that. But everything else, we're completely test optional.
Okay, so then you mentioned those as far as the nursing, the PA, and then the MD. I don't remember what the exact calling of it, but now are there other schools that have different admission requirements, or what? And what would those be?
So we don't have any other schools within University of Evansville that have different admission requirements. So it's all, even our engineering, we dropped test score requirements this year. So you can apply to engineering at UE, and if you have over a 3.0 GPA, we don't need test scores, and for the most part they're going to be okay. Nursing, they can actually get into what we call pre-nursing if they don't have test scores, and basically that just means they take a test at the end of their freshman year at UE to be entered into our nursing program, which is still 4 years. So they don't have any extra time if they don't have the test scores, but for direct entry they do need to see test scores.
Okay. Okay. And then is that kind of the way it is with the PA? And then are they able to get in afterwards, even if they're not direct admit?
Yes, so we'll have a number of students who don't qualify for that direct entry into PA or PT. We have direct entry PT as well, but they don't have test score requirements anymore. Basically, they just have an interview. So if students are not able to get into direct entry, it's no big deal because they just come to UE. They focus on a major like exercise science or biology or chemistry, and then they are what we call pre-PT or pre-PA, and they're getting advising just like the direct entry students. The only thing that's different is that then they're not guaranteed the admission to our PT or PA graduate program. They just have to apply for it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but it's really not a big deal if they can't get the direct entry.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful. So with what are some of the other schools that Evansville has that you think deserve highlighted?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
they all deserve
Oh,
highlighted.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've always been really well known for the health sciences, of course, the direct entry majors that we offer, but we also have a number of majors like public health, health services administration, where you can come in and do your bachelor's and master's in 5 years. We have some really cool kind of psychology related majors like neuroscience and cognitive science. And then we have a number of unique majors outside of that. So we have archaeology, which is a pretty rare major. We have creative writing as a major. We have an ethics and social change major, logistics and supply chain management. And then we have one of the best theater programs in the country. So, especially for, we're really well known for theater performance. We turn out a lot of really amazing alums. But we also have theater management, we have theater tech. So, we have a lot of really great connections in those areas as well. Our business school has been ranked very highly recently, and we have a number of those majors. So, yeah, it's over 75 majors. So, there's really something for most students. And then we have, of course, our version of it, like an undeclared major, is called Major Discovery, where you come in and you get special advising from our major discovery advisors to help you kind of figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, very cool. That's a ton of majors.
It is a ton and it's really eclectic. I think it's, like I said, we have such a cool mix of students who are interested in a lot of different things. And then, of course, you add the D1 athletics on top of that. We've got just a really diverse group of students on our campus, which I think is super cool.
Yeah. Now, one more thing, could you touch on and I forget once again what it was called, the Direct MD program or
Yes.
whatever. What's that? Could you kind of touch on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So this is one of just a few direct entry med school programs in the state. It's called a B to MD program, baccalaureate to MD. And basically what that is students apply their senior year for this program at UE. And
Is that senior year of high school?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Good clarification there. So they're applying senior year of high school, and then as long as they're keeping up their prerequisites and everything, and they take their MCATs and they do well, which these students are going to do that, they basically have automatic entry into IU School of Medicine. So it's only for Indiana students. So at least it does kind of reduce the competition in that sense, but it is very competitive. So we only offer typically about 8 to 10 spots for that each year. And it does require a separate application process for high school seniors. So my recommendation for those students, that application is due November 1st. So for high school seniors who are interested in that, they need to go ahead and apply to UE quickly, because they'll have to put recommenders on their application for the B to MD program. And so you want to make sure, of course, to give those recommenders plenty of time before that November 1st deadline. But it's a separate application, and there are test scores required of a 29 ACT or 1350 SAT, and they are really stringent on that. And they basically have a couple different rounds in that. You submit your application, and then they go through those, and they either invite students or do not invite students to interview. Then they do interviews, and then they invite students or do not invite students to the program.
Wow, that's intense, but
it is.
I guess it has to be. Like, you don't.
Yes. And I will say, the students interview with IU med school people, but it's a nice process for students because it's a little nerve-wracking, but everybody's so friendly and so nice that it's a great, sort of entry-level experience in an interview process for high school seniors. So I think that's really nice as well, is that they'll put them at ease, and they'll make them feel welcome. So it's not this big scary thing that I think a lot of students think it is.
Yeah. How many students generally apply for that?
Oh, at least 50 plus. I mean, it's quite a few, especially a lot from the Indy area, as I'm sure you can imagine. But we
Yeah.
do have students from all over the state apply.
Yeah, that's a very cool program. I'm glad.
It's really cool.
Glad I was
Yeah.
able to find out about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the cost to
Yes.
attend Evansville. What is the cost? And every college I've talked to has said, "Well, here's the cost. You won't pay this because this is the kind of financial aid or scholarships that we give out." So just tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So we have a huge number of scholarship opportunities available because we are a private school. And in many cases, the common idea is that, okay, private's going to be so much more expensive than public. But really, when you get down to it at the end, we can be very comparable to the amount of scholarship that we give. So we do give automatic scholarships based on merit, whether that's GPA or test score. So we have a grid on our website that students can go see exactly what merit scholarship they're guaranteed to get. And that ranges this year from between $20,000 to $30,000 a year. Now our tuition is $40,000, around $40,000. So that's a huge chunk of just tuition alone. And so that's minimum guaranteed merit scholarships. And those are renewable for all 4 years. Mm-hmm. Then we also have a number of add-on scholarships that we offer that are really easy to get in a number of ways. One, we have a visit scholarship. So if students come down and visit campus, whether that's a program, individual visit, that's $1,000 per year automatically. We have a FAFSA filing scholarship. So I know students think, hey, I'm not going to file the FAFSA. We're not going to get any aid. If you file the FAFSA and send it to UE, we'll give you a $1,000 scholarship per year. So you'll get $4,000 just for filing your FAFSA once, which is a really good deal. And then our third add-on scholarship is an essay scholarship where students can write an essay about change making or Harlexton and potentially get $1,000 a year for that. So that's already quite a bit. That's $3,000 extra dollars per year based on those different scholarships. Now, we also, of course, have a room and board cost, which is going to be on top of tuition. Right now, I would say the cost is probably between about $53,000 to $54,000 per year, including room and board and tuition. Again, though, the $20,000 to $30,000 scholarships are guaranteed. And we have a couple really great need-based initiatives this year that I'm super excited about. Number one, 21st Century Scholars, generally, they're going to get something at UE. It's going to depend on their family income situation. So if we have students who have free or reduced lunch at school, or their families make $50,000 or less per year, they will get a full tuition award. So they don't have to have a GPA requirement, nothing. They will get the full tuition award. So then room and board would be on them, but they can bring in outside scholarships and we'll stack that on top all the way up to room and board. So that's what I recommend for those students. And then this year we've started a new initiative, which I am so excited about. It's called the Hoosier Aces Award. And essentially this is for students who are going to have a 0 EFC estimated family contribution on their FAFSA. So you have to file your FAFSA to see if you'll qualify for this. But if you come out with a 0 EFC on the FAFSA and you have a 3.5 GPA or higher, it is a full ride to UE. So tuition, fees, room, and board will be covered. Now that's standard room and board. So if you opt for a residence hall that's a little more expensive, you'll cover that, but that's still like very, very little in comparison to what you pay normally. Yeah, so that's a really huge deal. We're very excited about that. So, especially for 21st Century Scholars, it could be potentially a full ride scholarship for you to UE. So it's very exciting for us. So yeah, between all of those opportunities, we can be a very affordable option.
Yeah, that's a lot you've got there. So
yeah,
that's very good, very good. All right, last one. Think back to when you were going through this process, the college application process, starting, whether you started as sophomore, junior, senior, whatever it was. What's something that you wish you had known about it at that point?
Yeah, that's a great question. I did my college search process completely wrong. I guess I shouldn't say there's a wrong way to do it, but I had no idea that people like me and the job that I have now existed. I didn't even know I had an admission counselor at any university. And I was a music major. So I just was going to throw my hat in at one school and hope I got in. And then I didn't get in. And it was, March of my senior year. And I met my admission counselor from a different school and ended up going to that university and got a really nice scholarship. So it worked out for me, but I just got really lucky with the timing. So that's my advice, is that for especially freshmen and sophomores, if there are schools that you're interested in now, because some of you might not know, until your junior year what schools you're interested in, and that's okay too. But if you're younger and you are looking at college websites, find the people like me who are your representative in the admission office and just get to know us, even as freshmen and sophomores. We don't mind talking to freshmen and sophomores. We love that. And then we will be the ones who will help guide you through this process, in partnership with your school counselors. So using your school counselors, using us as a team, that really is going to help you with your, staying organized and making sure because you're going to get a lot of emails and a lot of mail. And so we can help you sort through all that stuff. So please find us early, use us. If you haven't found us and you're a senior, that's okay. We'll still help you. So, but yeah, that's what I wish I would have known when I was in high school.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad I got to learn all about Evansville. There's so much I didn't know there. So
yeah, it's really like a hidden gem, I feel, in Indiana. So I'm sorry, my dog's just putting.
No, that's okay. It's okay. We want to hear about. We want to hear Artie. Is that right?
Yes.
Artie's Artie's take on Evansville. So we're fine.
Absolutely.
But thank you once again, Kelly Meyer, Regional Admissions Representative, University.